Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Bon après-midi, mesdames, messieurs. My name is Sub-Lieutenant Pamela Bussière. I'm the Public Affairs Officer here at 2nd Canadian Mechanized Brigade Group. I would like to introduce you Lieutenant Colonel Madison from the 2nd Regiment, the Royal Canadian Artillery. He will give you a brief statement about yesterday's training incident in Bulgaria, and after that, he will be able to take your questions. Allow me to introduce you to the commanding officer of 2RCHA, Lieutenant Colonel Madison.
Good evening. Today is a hard day for the 2nd Regiment Royal Canadian Horse Artillery. We are grieving the sudden loss of one of our own, Bombardier Patrick Labrie, who was tragically killed while participating in Exercise Swift Response. As of this afternoon, we still don't have all the answers. We can confirm that Bombardier Labrie was killed during parachute training, but details at this preliminary point are limited and are still being investigated. Our thoughts are with Patrick's family and friends, who are no doubt struggling with the loss of such a fine young soldier. We extend condolences to Jean, Julie, and his sister Veronique, as well as his spouse Jessica. 2RCHA is a family, and as a family, we mourn together. No matter where in the world Canadian soldiers are training, safety is key to everything we do. Military training, by its very nature, involves risk. And in spite of our culture of safety, reducing a risk to zero is impossible. Still, we relentlessly strive to make every training event as safe as humanly possible. We still want that training to be real, and the trials and hardships demanded of those Canadian soldiers demand that training to be that real. What I can tell you for sure is that our top priority at this point is supporting Bombardier Labrie, his family, and his friends. Thank you, and I can take your questions now.
Can you describe a little bit about Bombardier Labrie? What was he like?
Bombardier Labrie was a proud gunner. He was able to fill a room with his presence. He was a very well trained. He spent countless times on course, getting qualifications, such as most recently his observation post detachment, second in command, which is an incredible milestone for the artillery. He was friendly. He had many friends within the regiment, and he will be sorely missed.
What can you say about the situation or training, the exercise that he was taking part in?
Bombardier Labrie was part of a multinational training exercise in Bulgaria. As a member of the Forward Observer, sorry, I'll start that again. Bombardier Labrie was part of a multinational exercise. He was part of the Forward Observation Party that was with the 3rd Battalion Royal Canadian Regiment. His role was to support the battalion with his observation skills that he learned with the artillery.
So was he involved in, did he know exactly what happened or circumstances that he died of?
There is an investigation that's ongoing. At this time, it's not concluded, so we do not have recommendations or conclusions at this time.
But can you confirm that was a parachuting accident?
He was conducting a night parachute drop when the accident occurred, and right now the investigation is still looking into the details.
Was he in a Canadian plane? Was it a Canadian parachute?
He was in a at this time the investigation isn't concluded, and we don't have that information.
You don't know what nationality plane he was jumping out of?
He was in a Canadian aircraft at the time, and he was using Canadian equipment.
If we heard about the second Canadian being injured, is that the case? Do you have information?
We have information that says there was injuries on the drop zone, but we're here talking about Bombardier Labrie, so I have limited information on those.
Do you know if those injuries were a result of this incident or if they were sustained?
I don't have information on the extent of the injuries or how they occurred. I do know that Bombardier Labrie was in a night jump and he sustained his catastrophic injuries during that jump.
Was it the first time he was deployed in that region with that force, in this exercise?
It was the first time that Bombardier Labrie was deployed to Bulgaria for an exercise. He was most recently deployed on Op Reassurance as part of that task force from July 2018 to January 2019.
What can you tell me about the family that surviving Bombardier Labrie?
I was part of the notification team last night. The family is most kind and generous. We are reaching out to them and providing them as much support as we possibly can at this time.
Any question in French, or is it possible to answer in French?
If you have a question, we can have a translator.
Here while at the mic, or
I'm going to translate the question.
yeah, well, it's just we need some French sound, so that's why. It's pretty much the same question.
So we'll translate your question in French.
Okay.
Your answer in French. That's good.
Yep.
So it's the same. What do we know about what the situation what occurred last night?
What occurred last night was we were informed that Bombardier Labrie was involved in a parachute jump in Bulgaria as part of multinational exercise, and that an accident occurred, and he was deceased.
Donc, nous avons pris connaissance d'un incident qui est arrivé dans la nuit dernière. Le bombardier Labrie est décédé durant un exercice qui est appelé Swift Response en Bulgarie. On a reçu la nouvelle durant la nuit dernière. On sait également que c'est un exercice où ils effectuaient un saut de nuit d'un avion. Pour l'instant, on n'a pas d'autres détails puisqu'il y a une investigation qui est en cours.
And what can we say about him? How he was as a soldier?
Bombardier Labrie was an excellent soldier. He he had many friends within the regiment. He was highly qualified. He had most recently completed his observation post detachment second in command course, which was going to set him up for success in his artillery career moving forward.
Est-ce que vous avez besoin d'une...
Wait, just
Okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of qualification. So what was the first one you named?
So the qualification?
Yes, you said
So he was qualified as observation post detachment second in command.
OK. Donc, le bombardier Labrie est une personne qui a été très impliquée au sein de son régiment. Il a effectué plein de cours durant juste de la... Je vais recommencer. What is the second kind of the second courses you said he did?
The observation post detachment 2IC.
Yeah. Okay.
So
And the other thing?
Well, he did his basic parachutist.
Okay. Donc, le bombardier Labrie était une personne qui était très impliquée au sein de son régiment. Il a suivi plein de cours depuis son enrôlement en 2013, dont le cours de saut de base en parachute. Any other French?
How many times Labrie's jumper? Was this relatively? I know there's not a lot of artillery to jump except for this Bombardier. So was he training up? Was he certified?
Bombardier Labrie was a certified jumper. He had done most recently his recertification for his physical training. The number of jumps that he is qualified, I would have to refer to the PAO to find that information, but he had jumped a number of times, but I can't give you an exact number.
Are you looking into the role of the static line at all?
If there are technical questions about jumping, I am not a parachutist myself, and I would refer to those that know that information, so I'd refer you back to the PAO if you could.
Can you just pronounce his last name one more time? Because I've heard it two ways.
It's how I pronounce it may not be absolutely correct, but it's Labrie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anything we didn't ask you that you want to say?
Patrick was a really fine gunner, and we're going to miss him. And today's a really hard day for us, so I appreciate you coming and allowing us to share that news with you. Thanks.
Do you know the name of the gunner in French, sir? Bombardier Patrick Labrie. Donc merci tous d'être venus aujourd'hui. Donc si vous avez d'autres questions, vous pouvez me les référer, puis je vais prendre les